Muslim and voting, read this before you vote. Stick to the principles, taqwa and ikhlas. It's a big trust and amana. Don't take it lightly, it's a huge responsibility. Choose the best candidate, not on rees. Stay politically aware, don't follow blindly. Scrutinize the manifestos, know what they stand for. Ask the right people and seek advice. Think holistically and rationally. Make dua to Allah for guidance.
Okay, my friends, pleasant good afternoon, Trinidad and Tobago, and those of you who are locked on. And those of you, my friends, we have invited you. Since our last program, we told you all that we are going to have a special edition when it comes to the general election 2025. And my friends, a lot of things is happening. A lot of things is happening in our country, in our communities. And it has reached that stage right now where normally you would have found that, you know, the main entities, that is the PNM and the United National Congress, they are really and truly stepping up their campaign. And my friends, those of you who are locked on, like for example in Shogunas West, Shogunas East, a lot of campaigning is taking place, and that is taking place in all parts of the country, especially in those areas that is predominantly UNC. They have stepped up their campaign there. And we have also seen that the PNM have also stepped up their campaigning, and they are picking out and they are pulling from their best generals at this point in time to really and truly bring forward that momentum, that blast, so that we can be able to understand clearly what I'm saying here in this program, that they are bringing out their best generals. Like for example, what we are seeing in places like Moruga Tableland, we are seeing places like in Shogunas East, Shogunas West. People are moving around the hierarchy, the teams of whether it be MPs, members of parliament, or ministers in the government. They have stepped up and they are moving forward to ensure that they earn their victory, and they are working tirelessly, my friends. So Trinidad and Tobago, you and I, those of you who are outside here, basically what you have to do, very few are like us. Very few are like us. Myself and Prem Chand, we have the fortitude that we came out here and we are moving around and we are enhancing our program and we are dealing with people. Don't get angry if you find that, you know, Prem Chand or myself, we are in a different slant, and you would call us PNM, or you want to call us whatever you want. Feel free. That's your prerogative. You have the option to do the very same thing. If you are a staunch UNC follower, lift up from your chairs. Do not lie rocking in your hammock. Do not stay home. Do not just benefit from the spoils of war and wait for Tuesday morning and come outside there and say, well, you know, we campaign and we campaign and we campaign and we did this and we did that, so that you can earn the favors of those in government. My friends, Trinidad and Tobago, let's be real. Let's be real, because a lot of people today, I want to tell you all something. We are moving around and people are very hesitant. I tell you this. People are very hesitant. The very said people who are saying at this point in time, we are in full support of the United National Congress. And behind your backs, and the very said thing, they are saying, yes, we are supporting the PNM. We are doing this, we are doing that. And behind the backs of these individuals, my friends, they are turning like stale cucumber. They are changing colors like 24 hours. And we want you all, Trinidad and Tobago, to be real. Identify if you are supporting a political entity, whether it be Patriotic Front, whether you are following National Transformation, whether you are PEP, whether you are UNC, whether you are PNM. Let's be real. Let's be real. Come outside there. Don't hide behind the curtains. And you come up there with your fake profiles. Be real. Come outside there and tell John public, well, hear what? We are supporting this party. Whether we win, whether we lost, whether we draw, we are going to try to do our best. Do that. Do that. Let's be real. Don't hide behind the curtains and copy and paste and copy and paste and claim it's AI and AI and AI. My friends, Trinidad and Tobago, this is a live broadcast that we have initiated on this station, Sentinel Media Broadcasting. And we have been asking, I want Trinidad and Tobago to know, this station is not a fly-by-night thing. When you look at the statistics, and the director, he will put up the statistics for you. On our Monday program, we had 2,700 people on our TikTok. 2,700 on our TikTok live.
37,000 on
And then
video.
basically when you look at the followers for this station, we have close to 44,000 people. So people are listening, people are seeing. And don't ever feel that this station is too small for you. Because basically, I tell you something, the one footstep that you take towards positivity, my friends, that could be a humongous one later on in your span that you are living in this world. Right? So again, I want to welcome my co-host, Mr. Premchand Baliu. And again, this program is your program. Feel free to call us, 372-2129. I tell you something. Sometimes, you all make comparison. The PNM do this and the PNM do that, and the UNC did this and UNC did that. Let us understand today. Let us be talking about today. What is the reality of today, so that people now can be able to understand and go outside there and vote. They could go outside there and vote for the party. Come outside. Come outside, be really. Number 372-2129. You don't have to be attacking anybody. You don't have to attack anybody, whether it be in studio, whether it be out of studio. You don't have to attack your neighbor because they have a different vision. You can't do that. This is why today we are in this predicament. Because you feel that whatever you are doing is the right thing. And nobody shouldn't have an opinion. That is not my take. My take, my friends, is that, and don't come and tell me red, blue, green, yellow, black. A person could change whenever they want. I know one person right now, he changed every color. I know one person, he changed every single color. And he is in the forefront of that. How can people respect you? How can people really respect you when you're changing colors like a 24 hours frame?
A grasshopper.
A grasshopper. So we are here. Let me tell you something. You might feel we slanting to PNM. That's your business. We were there. We have been doing it. We work. And if we feel that, we just knocking our heads on our windscreen and waiting to die, we're not going to do that. We're not going to do that on this program, Hardfacts, Sentinel Media. After the election, you're going to see the real issues and the real hardcore issues that is going to come forward here today. So those of you who are taking the opportunity to become the leaders of the nation for the next 5 years, I do hope and pray that you will understand that we are going to investigate each and every one of those things that you have put forward in your manifesto, whether it be the PNM, whether it be the United National Congress. So stay tuned to our program. Call us 372-2129.
So thank you very much, our Reverend Imam Rashid Karim. Namaste, Assalamu alaikum, and a pleasant Wednesday good afternoon to all our viewers on Sentinel Media Live Broadcasting. This is the program Hard Facts, and my friends, as the name signifies, it is really hard, undiluted facts. We here at Sentinel Media Broadcasting, we don't take sides. As a broadcaster, as the owner and CEO of a station like this, where information is disseminated, you are not allowed to take sides. You've got to relate, Imam, as it is. All right? Now, my friends, today is really a special edition, as the screen there says, in that we are expecting the candidate for Shogunas West constituency under the banner of the People's National Movement to be in our studio shortly. And we do await his arrival with his entourage, so to speak. But in the meantime, today is a sort of an informal program. Informal in the sense that, you know, Imam, we have just tomorrow, which is Friday and Saturday.
Yeah.
Right? Sunday is no campaigning. Sunday we can't be here. No ads that will be played on the radio and that sort of thing. Nobody should be wearing their jersey and moving with a music truck on Sunday. Sunday is a lull period. It's a day to remain, you know, even the sale of alcohol and that sort of thing is not permitted on Monday also. So what we are going to do today is to just speak about the basics of what has been happening, Imam, for the past month or so since the election date has been announced by Prime Minister Stuart Young. Now, my friends, for the past, 4 to 5 years, everyone has been calling for elections, Imam.
Mm-hmm.
More so, the leader of the opposition, the Honorable Mrs. Kamala Bissessa, has been, tormenting and calling the government out of their comfort zone to call the election date. Call the election date. All right? Finally, it has been announced. It has been called. Also, there has been a call since 2020, so to speak, for observers to be in our shores, in our land, whenever that election date is announced. All right? Lo and behold, we do have observers in our country. We do have international observers. They are here, and they are setting the stage, so to speak, to have a free and fair election, and they are to report. They are to report on the findings of the elections, and that is a serious issue. Now, you will recall that the election observers, on touching down in the Trinidad and Tobago soil, they paid a visit to the leader of the opposition, Imam, so to speak, in her office in Port of Spain. And present were, members of other political parties also, such as the Patriotic Front and the NTA. No, the NTA and the UNC. All right? I think the Patriotic Front was there also, but the other parties were not present. You would have observed that took place in the office of the leader of the opposition, Mrs. Prasad Bissessa, who was absent. And that is a very, very sad thing. That is your office, ma'am. The observers whom you have been calling for, they are here. And they paid a visit to the leader of the opposition. You were supposed to be there, but you were not. So I think Trinidad and Tobago needs to know from you or from one of your representatives, why weren't you there? And this is something that you really wanted, because it has been stated time and time again that the election was rigged, the election wasn't fair, the PNM stole the election, this, that, ballot boxes, and so many other things. So, I will hand over to the Imam to share his thoughts on that. As we say, we are not going to the nitty-gritty of it today, but just to browse on what took place within the past month or so.
Okay, so thank you, Trinidad and Tobago. Those of you who are locked on, feel free to call us. The number 372-2129. If you are supporting a specific party, you have an opportunity to campaign. In the true sense of the word, you can call us and let us know, well, your candidate for the area, he is doing such, or he is planning to do such. And you can motivate your people here on our program, because just as how you would look at us and say, well, we are slanting in one direction, you have the opportunity, we are giving you the opportunity to call us and let us know. Let us know what is your take, what is your candidate take, because we have invited the United National Congress in our program last week, Saturday.
And they promised to come for the 12:15 show, and they didn't show up. And then when we called, they said they were busy in something else. So basically, maybe our status quo might not be really actually important enough to air what they are planning to do. But again, my friend, Trinidad and Tobago, every vote count. Remember this. Every single vote count, and every single individual. Because I tell you something, in the 2020 election, when that rain fell and the election went up for that 1 hour, I tell you something, from 6 to 7, I was campaigning tirelessly in the Shogunas East area at that time. And I tell you something, many of the different parties, they would have racked up their tents and
all these things. And I tell you something, when that 1 hour period came, I tell you something, I'm sure maybe 200, 300 voters came in to vote during that 1 hour.
There's a lot, you know, Imam,
Yeah,
for a 1 hour period.
that is plenty people come. And even so much so, I saw a person and they were wheeled in. They were wheeled in lying down, just for them to put their finger in that ink so that they can stain for the party of their choice. This is how important it is. And when we hear people outside here saying, me are going to vote and my vote wouldn't count.
Me like what Prem saying
no,
and where the Imam saying.
Trinidad and Tobago, it is very, very important for you all of us, because when we look at the promises in those manifestos, you are going to realize that it is really and truly far-fetched. It is really and truly far-fetched. You and I know that. But I remember when we were campaigning in 2020, some individuals came to us and they spoke to us. And one of those individuals were Mr. Rodney Charles. And you know what? I asked him 1 or 2 questions and so forth. And he answered, and you know something? I deduced from that. In the political sphere, there is certain things that you have to really and truly adopt. And that would have been, you know, if you have a tree, right? You have to really and truly understand that there would be low-lying fruits and there will be fruits that is high up there. Which one will you choose? Which one will you choose? And that is the example, a simile that I'm bringing forward here today, that I would have selected the low-lying fruits.
Yeah.
Because why it is that you're going to make all that extra effort looking for a ladder, looking for a long handle, a fruit picker,
And it could fall on your head too,
and you right there, the low-lying fruits.
It's right there.
It's right there. You could pick it. And that is how some of us today we think. We think in a negative, we think in a different context, and we believe, again, my friends, Trinidad and Tobago, we want you all to come out in your large numbers. That is what we are asking you all in different areas, especially. You all are saying the country is bad, you are saying the country is hard, whatever you are saying in the United National Congress is giving you promises that they are going to make this country better, and we are seeing the Honorable Prime Minister of the country, the Honorable Stuart Young, SC, he is making some claims, and he's saying vividly clear, he's not saying it hiding, that we are going to do this. And one of the most important integral thing at this point in time would have been something called foreign exchange. If you all don't know what I'm speaking about, those of you who have a business, when you go to the bank and you have to get 200 and 300 and 500 and 1,000, you're going to realize that it is not cutting it. It is not cutting it. And here it is, Stuart Young, you would realize that he came from the bowels of a business family, and he's stating and he's understanding this, and he's given that promise that, you know what, you all are going to get a certain amount. I think what was bandied around would have been $50,000 US for the business community to really and truly invest in their business. So that's a plus there. And we are hearing certain things. We are hearing we are seeing also in the different manifesto, we are seeing programs at the United National Congress. They are having situations where they want to, you know, bring back certain things like the demerits should be adjusted, and we look at, you know, crime. You know, a lot of things have been really and truly mentioned in the manifesto. So basically, on our Saturday program, we are going to make some comparison. Prem is going to read from the PNM manifesto, and I am going to read from the United National Congress manifesto. We're going to pull those 2 manifestos. We're going to sit down here on our program, Hardfacts, and we are going to tell you all, my friends, what is happening and what is being promised and what you all supposed to receive. And if you are not getting it, then what would have been your next course of action? Now, you have to wait. If for example, the United National Congress promise you things and they cannot fulfill it, then you have to wait a whole 5 years. Because there is no in-between election where you can change.
Let me interject a little bit, right? In our yesterday's program, we mentioned, you know, probably in a little high horse voice, because, you know, when the tension gets high in here, it is in broadcasting terms, they call it ramp up, right? We mentioned that there are approximately between 50 to 60 grants that are available to the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago, all right? In the UNC areas, or areas that the UNC have won the elections, all right? How many of you people know about these grants? how to go about applying, what is the amount to be granted, what are the requirements, to access these grants. You don't know. Your MPs probably never told you, or maybe there was no reason for them to tell you because you never asked.
Yeah.
Right? But these grants are available. I have assisted maybe 10 to 12, 13 people, in the past 2-3 years to get grants that are available. But you need to access it. Right? Now, one may say, well, Imam or Prim, but it's only them PNM people getting these grants. It is there for everybody. They are the ones who are applying. They are the ones who, are filling out the form and stating what they need, how and why, and these reasons. And they are the ones that are getting it. If you want to win the lotto, you go sit down and pray, Lord Krishna, Allahu Akbar. You need to get a ticket.
No, well,
you need to get a ticket.
I tell us something, Trinidad and Tobago, right? What Prem is saying and what we are saying collectively and one voice here is that all these grants is available. And you all have to be able to intercept. You have to be able to, go after it.
That's
right?
it.
And there's a protocol. There's a protocol for everything. If, like for example, one business person, applied for a firearm, and the firearm was not granted, and that person took that in the commissioner office, and the commissioner took to court.
Yes.
And that
That's one of the options.
and that permit was granted. Now we are saying this, that if you asking, let me just give you an example. You would like to get a grant of $15,000 to repair your house, right? And you have all the qualifications in the sense that your roof is leaking, you're not working anywhere, and those kind of criterions, whatever is the criteria there,
you fulfill
and you fulfill that, and it doesn't give you that. Then you have other options. You can go to the ombudsman if the ombudsman office is still available to you. You can go to a lawyer. You can get somebody to write. You
can go to your MP, the first person. The MP is going to raise that in the parliament. That is my MP is my voice in parliament, and that's the person who I put my X for. And you have to get him to start to work. That's the point I'm making. Now, Imam, just as animals and birds, they group, and they elect a leader or they follow a leader, so too with human beings. Human beings love someone to lead them forward. Because not everybody, Imam, has leadership qualities. There are people who are comfortable following, and there are people who are comfortable being in the forefront. They are born leaders. For instance, in my village, where I live, the road was so deplorable, Imam, and not one individual. When they gather by the junction, or by somebody's house, or in a prayers or whatever, in the aftermath, they will talk and talk and talk. But no one is willing to take the first step. So they are followers. A leader has to emerge out of that, and that's why I came in. And it's simple. You write the mayor, you write the councillor, give him a carbon copy of the letter, you write your MP, and you get down on the hills, and you're going to get things done. You understand? So as the Imam was saying, there are people who are going to find fault with Primchan Baldev, with Imam Rashid Karim, and what we are saying here, but hey, you are in the back benches. Come out in front.
Exactly.
Let your voices be heard. Let your voice. How many people are willing to sit in front of this camera and say what you have to say without fear or favor and face the public out there when you go out?
Right. I want to tell you something, Trinidad and Tobago. Let's dissect this election seriously here today on this program. Special edition, General Election 2025. I am your host, Imam Rashid Karim, my co-host, Mr. Premchand Baldev, and this is Trinidad and Tobago. Welcome to our segment today. And what we are talking about, you look at the history of politics in our country. The history of politics in our country is divided tribalistically when it comes to the African, when it comes to the East Indian. The 1%ers in the colliery or whatever you want to call it, they don't really and truly matter in the vociferousness of voting. Because I tell you something, those persons who have big, large conglomerates and so forth, I think they will fall under the special voting category because of security reasons and so forth. But the point that I'm making here is that 18 seats, as you have been looking on in the 2010 election when the United National Congress had that big sweep and that victory took place. And then we look at the 2015 and then we look at the different elections, you are going to realize that there is 18 seats that really and truly the United National Congress have been winning those seats consecutively. And we look at the other side, the PNM, they have been consecutively winning those very said numbers, whether it be 18 or 19.
There, the political equation is well balanced.
The political equation is well balanced in our country. So asking for observers, some CARICOM and all those things, where are you going to really and truly install those the observers themselves, right? They are going to be in one location. But again, when you look at the strategic areas of contention, and that would have been in the marginal seats. In the marginal seats. And there's where we are seeing, in some cases, the work has not been vamped up. It has not been stepped up. And you know something? When elections are lost, right, people are supposed to really and truly come forward and accept. You understand? They have to accept whether they win or they lost. Accept it and move on. And don't make excuses that, you know, we lost the election because of the EBC thief, or we lost the election because of the ballot box this, and we lost because we didn't get polling card. Let me give you an example. We are seeing this around the country right now, that people are saying that the polling cards have not reached them and polling cards have been discarded and all these things. You all know, do you all know the rights of a voter? If you are a person who have an ID card, right, and you reach a certain age, would have been 18 years and over, you are eligible to go and vote. And if you go across there and your name are in the electoral list, nobody can prevent you from voting. And if by chance, don't go 5:45 or 10 minutes to 6, and you're going to say, I'm going to vote that time. If you are a seasoned voter, and you know your polling division is 29-30, or 30-31, or 29-31, or whatever, then you would go there because you have been consecutively voting there. But if you are a first-time or a second-time voter, and last 5 years you had challenges, take your time, go in the morning. You have enough time. You have enough time to get that corrected. There would be people who would be there, who would be people who can assist you. Don't wait for the last moment and then say, you know, you come out and put a story there. You know, why we lost the election is because many of our people who went to vote there, many of our people who were supposed to vote, they were turned out. No, don't do that. Right? And we would tell you all something here today. A lot of excuses have been made on the both sides of the fence. Like, for example, what we are seeing, they are saying that TNTech is pulling down the banners there, and they are pulling down PNM banners, and they are pulling down UNC banners. And we saw something in Arangwes this week, somebody invaded that place. My friends, Trinidad and Tobago, those things, right? Those things, it do happen. And you cannot blame the political entity for it. There are people who think out of the box. And they feel that, here what? Let me tell you something. Let me just give you an example. We have a candidate by the name of Dr. Neil Gosain in Shogunas West. If you go Trinidad and Tobago, I want you all to listen, because it seems as though some of you need to have elephant ears to really hear. I want to tell you, if you pull down any and every of the posters of Neil Gosain, and
if he doesn't campaign,
if he stay home, and he just go in his office and think, he is going to win the election. So what is the big fuss? That the banners is pulled down and this, that. You all looking, some of you people outside there, we look for excuse, just to make excuse. That's it. You have to be real. The election in Trinidad and Tobago is fought because of Tobago 2 seats.
But Iman, let me add something to that, right? It was brought to my attention last night, probably around 11 in the night, that most of the bloggers, right, who are making videos against the UNC and against the PNM also, they are really, those who are making videos for the UNC, on behalf of the UNC, they are not really UNC supporters. They were paid. They are paid heavily to do that. And some of them who are making videos on behalf of the People's National Movement are really not PNM supporters. They are paid. Money talks.
And that is basically
an election ploy.
What happened during the period of election. Yeah. They are activists. They're happy that every 6 months have election.
They make money.
They're activists like that. They're glad every 6 months we have an election so that they could collect their $15, $20, $30, $100,000 and go outside there and mamagai the people and say, here what, we are voting and we are doing this and we are getting all these people to come and vote. I tell you all something, you don't need no activists for Shogunas West. You try to understand, you don't need this big set of monies to be spent. Those very said monies, you could be able to utilize it, build, drive around, the candidate could drive around and see people roof leaking, see somebody looking like they need a new suit of clothes, and give it to them, things like that. All these monies that we've been spending here is really and truly, it just has to make people feel good that, here what, we on the lead. If you have 10,000 people in that Arangwe Savannah tomorrow, that doesn't mean that the election is won there. Because if you have your 18 seats, right, Trinidad and Tobago, listen, or PNM have their rally somewhere in Chagaramas, and they go across and everything is red from Port of Spain to Caranage is red, right? And the same thing happened from El Sicoro and the highway and everything to Arangwes is yellow. My friends, will that win the election? You tell me. What it does really, it creates a stir. It creates an interesting scenario where people will feel that, here what, boy, the United National Congress seems like they're winning, or the PNM winning this election again. And this is what the trend is all about, to see if they can manipulate. They can manipulate the situation and get people thinking that, here what, join the bandwagon because we are going to win. But win, loss, or draw, Trinidad and Tobago, I tell you something, the business community, Kamla Prasad Bisesa and Stuart Young, they cannot, wave a magic wand tomorrow, Monday, Tuesday, wave that magic wand and everything is going to be real again. Whether PNM remain in power or the United National Congress get into power, basically you're going to get maybe double hardship. Or maybe you're going to be getting a certain amount.
That is what I said in our last program. On Tuesday morning, when the election is done and over, and whoever assumes office as government and as opposition, the potholes are not going to disappear immediately, right? The crime situation is not going to stop and become eradicated immediately. No, there is a process, right? And this process is generated with the government and the opposition. You understand? When we have to appoint a president, Imam, do you know the leader of the opposition has to be consulted? It is the law. Do you know that?
Consulting is one, but the selection is a different one.
I said consulted. When a state of emergency has to be called, do you know the Prime Minister and the leader of the opposition have to indulge in talks? That is a serious question. Now, my friends, just to shift the diagram a little bit there. By now, we are 3 days away from the election on that day, Monday, which is Monday coming. And a lot of people have really decided already, Imam, who they would be casting their vote for. All right? But there are two types of people, right, that both parties, the UNC and the PNM, needs to be concerned with. And these people could really make an impact, a general impact on victory or defeat. One, non-decided voters. They do not know if I'll be voting for the UNC or if I am voting for the PNM. So they're undecided, right? Both parties need to pay attention to these type of people, especially those that are in the marginal seats. And then there are non-voters, people who don't ever vote. You understand? It seems as though the electoral process does not interest them. Come what may, we will have to live by that. You understand? How are you going to deal with the undecided voters and those people who don't vote? Because you want them to vote for you.
I tell you something. Trinidad and Tobago, you dissected correctly. Yes, good. Man. But the thing about it here is this. I would not go outside there to tackle any undecided voters because they mamagai in their own self. If you, as a person, as an individual, residing in a country, and you're not sleeping in a bedroom and not coming out the bedroom, you're coming out, you're interacting, you're understanding, you're going to the supermarket,
you have to pay
you're
bills.
Doing everything, you know what is going on. So don't tell me that you are undecided. It's either you lost interest in everything. But the problem is, I am going and mobilizing people who don't want to vote and give them that inspiration and identify with those people that, hear what, your vote really matters. I don't study the undecided because really and truly, when they say, well, me I decide who I'm voting for yet, then something wrong with you.
Exactly.
Something is
after
really and truly.
all the campaigning and all the
because people passing in front of you, you could come outside there and put on Facebook that these music truck making noise and this, that, and the next, and this banner's affecting me, and the car stop in front of my house and they block you could do that. right? But you cannot come outside there and say, well, here what? You see me? I am supporting the PNM. Or you could say that I am supporting the United Nations. You could do that. But you know what? You trying to pretend. And that is the worst type of voters. That's a dangerous situation because here what? Basically, you know what? If you are not decided, then you are not patriotic. I tell you something. If you are not decided who you're voting for by now, then you are unpatriotic. You are a person that really and truly doesn't care. You don't care about your country. Yes. Your country could sink.
And your people and future
generations. You don't care about nobody. But I am talking about the people who have lost hope. These are the people I am working with. I am going in areas that the people who have lost hope and say, well, you know, well, me I have a vehicle and I feeling sick. I'm sick and nobody don't care about me. I am going to revise and revive those people. Go and meet them. You know, we don't have any food in our house. I am going to try to ensure that they get something to eat so that they can come outside there and vote.
You have a drive for that this afternoon.
Yeah.
Now, Trinidad and Tobago, to all our voters, I'm not saying UNC or PNM, to all our voters, you would be voting for a candidate. All right? Whether your candidate is successful or not doesn't matter here at this point in this program. But you should go and you should cast your vote for whoever you wish to. That is your prerogative. That is your franchise. That is one of your rights as a living person in Trinidad and Tobago. Now, when you have cast your vote, whether your candidate was successful or no, you would have a representative in Parliament, right? An MP.
Yeah.
An MP, you would have a representative in Parliament. Are you going to sit in your home or by the liquor shop or Old Talk in the cemetery or by the crematorium side that I have seen my MP, me don't see them, I just only see them election time, he's a waste of time, you know, that one never do nothing for me? Imam, you take over. You take over.
As you bring up that, as you brought up
because that is the general consensus of every human being in Trinidad.
Are you, let me just ask a question. People might say that here what? I am talking about Shogunas West. You call and talk about Shogunas East, talk about Tucumans, wherever you want you talk. But I'm talking about this, knowing that I'm a business-oriented person. I'm in the community. I listen, I hear, I see, I touch, I feel. So I understand what is going on, right? People have been saying, well, you know, we didn't, and I brought it up on many occasions to Dinesh Rambali. And you know something? He had programs in the Felicity Hindu schools on many occasions. And when you look at the attendance, we have in Felicity area alone, we're talking about 15,000 to 18,000 people residing in this block.
Highly populated.
And when you look at the symposium, when he had law clinic and when he had different medical clinic and so forth, you're going to realize that 200 and 300 people alone come in there. So how can you, as an individual, when he say that we having a meeting here, you all don't show up? Simply because you feel that he's not supportive of your leader, he's not supportive of this, he's not supportive of that. So because of that, we're not going to, we're going to boycott. And that is going to happen. That is going to happen again in Shogunas West. Because that happened in the past with all the members of parliament. Jack Warner, you name it, Manohar Ramsaran, Winston Dukaran, Ganga Singh, Dinesh Rambali, and I think it had another person again, maybe 6 or 7 persons who went up, and every single time, knowing for a fact that the flagship of the United National Congress is the Shogunas Borough Corporation. You understand? And we really and truly ask the question on our program on many occasions, why it is that this deviation always takes place. Is it because of our blight, or because somebody have done something? Why? These are questions we ask here, but again, it is not for debate here today. What is for debate here today is that you all, those of you who are maybe around, you understand? Mobilize your people, get your family, get yourself to vote first, get your families to vote, and you know, do that, build the momentum and get our act together so that, you know, basically, those of you who are inclined to the PNM, support, go ahead, inclined to the patriotic front, go right ahead. Whoever party that you are inclined to, we always say this in our program. So if Prem and I choose to do something else, don't get vexed with me. And let me tell you something, just as how you would say that, you know, if we win the election, nothing for them, you know they said?
Yeah.
If we win the election, nothing for them, they didn't support us. That is the policies of politics. If you support a party, they're going to really and truly re-support you, whether it give you programs, give you contracts, and you tell me something, there are people who are donating heavily, right? Before that, there was a pothole in front of the business place. And the person didn't even want to spend $1 to fix that. But now it's election time. They're buying tons and tons and tons of coal mix.
With their own money.
And they spend it, and you know what? They're donating and donating because you know what? Their intention is that the party,
they will be favored.
the party that win the election, they're going to favor me and give me a junk of contract or a big this or a big that. That is the policy of people. They don't really do it for country. They do it for self. They do it for self. And you know something? Trinidad and Tobago, let me tell you something. Huh? That policy is something that really and truly is outdated. Right? And I have heard Stuart Young, the Honorable Stuart Young, mentioning certain things. And one of those words that he uses is equity. And I'm going to take him to task for that. After the election, during the middle period or whatever, equity is the word that he used. And equity means that a level, equal, a dissemination of the provisions.
To every citizen.
To every citizen of this country, whether it be black, blue, green, yellow, 1%, 5%, 10%, 100%, Hindu, Christian, Muslim, and that is equity. Equity is supposed to be that.
You know something, Imam? When the Honorable Stuart Young was appointed Prime Minister, I said something in this program, and I'm going to reiterate that. People have a tendency to gravitate towards a new appointed leader. Because they see in that individual, remember it has not been proven as yet, but their perception is that is a young leader, a new innovative, new vision, you understand? More dynamism, you know, a more attractive approach towards people, and being more receptive towards people and that sort of thing. And that, you know, that statement I made was so true. Was so true.
Exactly.
You know, Dr. Rowley has gone into oblivion. You know, he is almost, you know, have disappeared from the political view of everybody. It is Stuart Young, it is PNM, it is Kamala Prasad Bissessa. Had the leadership of the UNC done what the PNM had done, elect a new leader, man, this would have been a really, really nice, powerful, strong election. Really, really.
But again, Prem, again, people will be asking the question, who we go put?
That is not my problem.
No, who we go put and the who.
All right, listen. Who we go put? Then.
And who we go put? And that is.
See their replacement
and
immediately.
that is the question they would ask. Who we go put?
That is
and that is the policy. That is the policy of having hereditary movements, whether it be in your business, whether it be in the private sector, whether it be in your church, your temple, your mosque.
Correct.
This is what
you
we call.
need to be grooming
You're
people
supposed
for
to
that.
be doing that.
Yeah.
Groom people to take over so that you would be able to at least, and you don't wait
leave a legacy.
You don't wait till you die. You tell me something. I'll just tell you something. A man will come and tell me this, sir. A man tell me this, sir, and I don't want to take me to task. And the audience outside there, maybe you could take me to task, but I don't want Prem to take me. Because right now, me and Prem are very tight, and I don't want that relationship to dismantle. But what I'm saying, a person was showing me that, right? He said that just as how, you know, you will go to a ministry and you will find out that a certain name is being called abundantly. Well, Mr. Joseph, Mr. Lewis, Mr. Joseph, Mr. Lewis. Clearly indicative that these two persons, Joseph and Lewis, these are the people who are prevalent. These are the people who have the know-it-all, the know-how to do things. When we look at Stuart Young, Prime Minister was there. The Honorable Dr. Keith Rowley was there. But you would realize that somebody was being groomed. Many people thought that it would have been this guy, the finance minister, Imbert, call him Imbert. Many people thought that. Many people were saying it would have been Faris Alwari. Many people were speculating. Now, let me just tell you something. Trinidad and Tobago, and I want the African community to listen carefully to this. I want you all to listen carefully to this. Basically, it doesn't have any creed or race when it comes to the political sphere of the United National Congress at this point in time, or the PNM at this point in time. They are really and truly, they might say it vocally, that here what, in our thing, in our party, we don't have anything. Because look, we have Jolene John and this and that, and we might bring one window dressers and so forth. But the point here is, this guy, Stuart Young, SC, he was there, and on many occasions, if you read between the lines, and I was watching that, and I was looking on, and I was watching that, basically he was being groomed right? And you know when people use the word groom, it's a kind of negative thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Because they say
LGBT stuff.
right? But we're not talking about that. We're talking about groom to become the next leader.
He was being polished.
Yes.
Yes.
So because when you look at
So Imam, listen to me. Hold up. You now talk about
Yeah.
me and you tight and this kind of thing, and you want that to go haywire, right? Are you saying, are you Imam Rashid, who held real top positions in the United National Congress, then and probably now, I don't know, you know, that no one has been groomed in the United Nations Congress to take the mantle of leadership? Is that what you are saying?
I'm not saying so loud and clear. I'm not saying so loud and clear because
Because
now,
we had deputy leaders there.
yes,
Right?
yes. But I tell you something. Sometimes when we look at the principle of what goes up, like Boyle's law and Charles' law, when we look at physics, you're going to realize what goes up must come down, right?
That's
And
the
we are
gravity.
seeing this. Basically, we have been seeing this, but people choose not to really and truly
Voice it.
not voice it, really and truly take it into their mental faculties and digest it. Because this guy, Stuart Young, was there and he was totally
For 9 years, you know.
and he was there pushing, and he was pushing that wheelbarrow of whatever progress that you want to call it, but he had the leadership belt on already.
In that case,
He had the leadership belt
No.
on during the time
Yes.
of Dr. Keith Rowley.
no, you are not saying this and I am not saying this. But this is the general perception and the reality of the matter. If the United National Congress, right, was not grooming anybody or have not been grooming anybody for leadership when Mrs. Kamala Prasad demits office, right? If they have not been grooming anybody, then they are doomed to failure.
No, but Prem, they have been doing that. They have been grooming people. They have been grooming people. And anybody could, and like for example, I'll tell you something. Last week on Facebook, on the social media, when I just given you something here, I just dissecting what I saw. Right? When I saw this that a certain individual was given a seat. Right? And when he given that seat, he had the selective privilege of choosing which one of the seat he wants.
You serious?
And that is what was portrayed there. So which one of the seat you want? Another person went up on the platform, my friend Trinidad and Tobago. We just dissected her. You all could be vexed with
Today
me.
is general discussion.
We just having
Yes.
discussion. Another person was on the platform. This is why when you are on platforms and a mic is in front of you, you have to be very,
Know
very
what
careful.
you're saying.
Look like, for example, what was said in Parliament
Yes.
by the Honorable Prime Minister of the country at this point in time. I tell you something, those things happen on a regular basis. But just the mic was on, you remember, a TV station.
In this instance, the mic was on. Many worse things were said when the mic was
Was
off.
off.
So
And
we did not pick it up.
another instant would have been this. I remember this, that in one radio station, a lot of obscenities were mentioned because the mic was on.
Yeah, mistake.
Right.
But it happened to Robin Maraj. You remember Robin Maraj? You were a man in the 1960s? Let me get a joke. I would not say the exact words. Robin Maraj was announcing the 7 o'clock news, those were TTT News Panorama and that sort of thing, right? That's in the 70s and 80s. We were little boys. And India came to play cricket at the Queen's Park Oval. It was a 5-day match. So, you know, somebody asked Robin Maraj, you know, one of the crew members right there in the TV station, in the room, TV station, that what would be the weather tomorrow for the cricket? You know what Robin say? He said, rain in there, I can't say the
Okay, all right.
You
So
understand?
I just want to read some. We have some people. You know, they text in here, and I believe and if people from the United National Congress would like us to read some of their messages, go right ahead. Right? This person, they goes under the handle of Kitten. Where is the 81 million life sport money? Explain to us where the United National Congress getting the money to accomplish the promises that they are making. A diary, it was a diary of a Sapodilla. Share it live. And this is what is going on here. People are talking, people are saying, they are asking questions. And you and I today, Trinidad and Tobago, these are questions.
Imam, let me just say something here. You don't have to be a PNM supporter to ask those questions, you know. You can be a UNC supporter. But you know, but your antennas are up, so you're free to ask questions about, you know, like the text here. You're free to ask any questions.
No, there are certain people who wants to ask questions, but you know something, they have to get permission from the leaders. They have to get permission from people around them. Could I ask this question? You know, they want to use the washroom, but they're asking a person next door, could I ask for permission to go and use the washroom? That is how ridiculous it is. And that is the reason why today, people like myself, we don't think in the box alone. We think out of the box. That is the reason why we are asking. We're going up. Let me tell you something. We are going up. We are campaigning. We are moving around. We are talking to people. On this program, Special Edition General Election 2025, Trinidad and Tobago Sentinel Media Broadcasting, Hardfacts with Premchand Baldev, Imam Rashid Karim. We are here. We have been asking people to join our program, but it seems as though they are fearful. They are fearful really and truly because of the question that we are going to ask them. And we're not going to put water in our mouth to ask those questions. And we're not going to be abusive. And we're not going to ask, we're going to ask relevant questions to the ministers. And we're going to ask questions to the MPs, members of parliament.
Yes. Listen, I'm trying to be good. I have said this many times. When we have studio and I come to the studio, if I see the Imam downstairs, Imam, assalamu alaikum upstairs. You say, okay, Prem, assalamu alaikum. I come upstairs, director, good afternoon, assalamu alaikum, and I sit here. The 3 minutes before, I put on my jacket and we get into the program. When anybody, any member of parliament, should come to the station, election campaign, there are two facets of election campaigning. There are two aspects of it. One, you want my vote, you tell me what you have done for my constituency or whichever constituency you are representing for the past 5 years. And what are you going to do and how you are going to accomplish it? Simple question. If you can't answer those questions, don't come to the station.
And another important thing again, my friend, Trinidad and Tobago, every one of us, I tell you something, basically me, you, I, right? What I would like to see happen is that individual in our country feel safe. That's number one. I would like my people, the citizens of this country, those persons who are living and residing in a certain community, they should be feeling a sense of security and safety. That's number one. You ask anybody, Trinidad and Tobago, and people are going to say, why we don't base that question to whom? Why we don't base that question to the PNM and the Minister of this? We did it, and we're going to continue doing it. But the point again is all hands should be on deck. We should not aggravate a situation and wish that it has 700 murders to make a certain political party look bad. Then we really and truly don't care. When you look at the dimension of politics in this country, why it is that, people, something? They're saying AI, my foot, AI. They will go across there and look like Penelope Beckers went on the platform and she said she accepted this and she said the United National Congress, they did a lot of things. You know what? That is all the people cut. They cut that alone and they cut and they saying that and saying that. How that is going to be relevant? Who are you going to manipulate? Who are you going to change? Which voters are you going to change? Only the very said people who vote in you might take that chain up. Trinidad and Tobago, those of you who are locked on, you have that opportunity. Look like, for example, this guy, Andy Rollins. Andy Rollins, he's asking a question. When was the last time the MP for Siparia took a walk through? Yeah. Now, I tell you something, I will defend that. The political leader of United National Congress, as you all know,
is a very busy person.
Not only that, she's not as vociferous as was before.
And mobile.
Right?
Probably that is why the Texas and text that. He's not seeing her.
Right. Now, this person here, you see, some of you are scared to call the station, so we're gonna dissect what you are saying here. So this person, that is sort of power, that is the handle that he's going with. So you are hearing crime on both sides, UNC and PNM, how no one have been locked up. Very good pertinent question.
Now, let me say something, Imam. That is something I wanted to raise in the program today, but it just slipped my memory. On both sides of the political divide, the two main parties, the United National Congress and the People's National Movement, have been making allegations of corruption against each other. Not so, Imam?
Exactly.
If you have evidence against your opponent, your political opponent, and you are saying from your political platform, be it PNM or UNC, doesn't matter to me, that nobody's paying me. If you have evidence of this MP or this minister in corruption and whatnot, why don't you take it to the police? Take it to the police and let it be dealt according to law. Don't come and bamboozle my head and people's head and saying this one thief and that one thief and this one EMBD and that one Venice and this kind of thing. You know? Take it to the police.
One individual, Alison Joseph. Alison Joseph, she's saying that in La Romaine area, I have not seen no one in the area. Now, I'll tell you something. Maybe, Alison, maybe when they were walking, maybe you were somewhere else. You know, give them the benefit of the doubt because this is the
but we do appreciate your comment.
Yeah. This again, the MP of Siparia do not care, never cared except for her own kind, even when she was able. Now, that's another thing again.
People
now, I tell us how in Trinidad and Tobago, you all are free. Express your views because this program, again, my friend, is not going to end right here. This is going to be one of the leading programs in this country, Trinidad and Tobago, where we identify and we highlight the issues that is affected. Because I tell you something, after election, after you know, I fulfill my oath, right, and maybe give charity or something, whatever, after the election, my friends, I don't want to let you all know, whoever in power, you all really and truly had to come good. Because I am telling you something, my station, our station here, is really and truly for people, by the people. Our station is for the people, by the people, and we are going to bring people here with documents sitting on this very set table. And we are going to identify how many challenges they have to go through to get a water connection.
Imam, want to talk about that? Give me 1 second. So the councillor for the Charleville Monroe Road area, who is Adrian Ali, my very good friend Adrian, in front of Medicines Pharmacy on the Carrie Savannah Road, WASA has cut a trench, you know, probably for a pipe connection and that sort of thing. And it is there about 2-3 weeks now, and it is very deep, councillor, right? Now that the rains have begun falling, drivers may not know that there is a trench here because it is filled with water and you can damage your vehicle really, really bad. Then coming to the Charleville Masjid on the Caroni Savannah Road there, there's another trench that WASA cut. Our Councillor Adrian, I am appealing to you on behalf of all the commuters and drivers of the Charleville area, you know, speedily, can you have that situation rectified by putting in some material, some coal mix and that sort of thing? Because it is a really bad situation there.
Okay, so Alison, I don't want you to get angry with me, right? Alison Joseph, don't get angry with me, right? I'm always home looking out myself and my neighbors asking the same question. Thank you very much. Maybe you could identify the area, the representative for that area, so that area representative could understand that here what in this street or this area, the people not seeing you.
And
that is what we want you all to do. People like that, call us, tell us what is going on in your neck of the woods. You are not seeing them campaigning in your area.
But I want to agree with Alison. You understand?
I agree
because
too.
Here in Shogunas West, in times gone by, imagine, I'm not going to call his name, a member of parliament was elected here in Shogunas some 15, 20 years ago. And that gentleman was invited into my village, right, for a cottage meeting after the elections. I was the chairman of PNM Party Group 21 of the Shogunas constituency at that time.
Okay.
You understand?
And what transpired? What transpired?
I'm still up here. You could say what you want.
All right, so
and you don't have to believe that, and you can believe that. That is how deceptive politics are and how deceptive people are. The gentleman came, and I was chairing that meeting. And you know what he said? That gentleman is still alive. You know, I hope he's listening to this program. He won the election for Shogunas West. We voted for that gentleman. Approximately 300 to 400 votes those days. Now it's 600 to 900 votes. And he stood up under my neighbor house and said he did not know this village existed. You tell me how the people feel. That fella real? I wanted to report it to his ASS, the political leader Basil Pandey at the time. But
okay.
You know?
Okay, so Trinidad and Tobago, those of you who are locked on, our program Hardfacts is really and truly your program. We sit here, we moderate here, and we try our best to see how, you know, you could be able to be represented. Right? You are saying that you're representative for the area. They are not visiting you. We are seeing people saying code is red. We've seen people saying red, irresponsible. We've seen people saying
code
is yellow and all these things. You people feel free. 18 seat, 18 seat, 18 seat. 18 by 18 is 36. 2 in Tobago. 2 in Tobago.
That's 20.
That is 36 and 2, 38. 38, how much to make 41 3 seats? Where are those 3 seats going to really and truly emanate from to make the
form a government?
To form that
Yes.
government? We are here, we're going to identify. You know something? Today I am going to take a drive down to La Hoqueta. I'm going to Tunapuna. And you know, if we get some footage,
Listen to
we're
this
going
comment.
to come in here.
Listen to this comment. Prem, you are a nastiness. You are a nimakaram. You said you are a PNM. I said after that that is how deceptive politics is. And that is how deceptive people can be. That doesn't mean to say I'm really a PNM. You understand? Call me a nimakaram in a way, ma'am.
Yeah. What is it mean, Anima Karam?
Yeah? Ungrateful.
Yeah, okay.
Yes.
I am wondering here again, we have Marvelous Marvin. I am wondering when we vote for Auntie Kamala, if she will keep her promises. And that is a question that many people are asking. This is another person saying, I have water connection by me. More than 15 years, never get one drop of water, and we pay in the bill. No, that is the problem. We have an ombudsman. If, you know, I remember a guy by the name of Evans Reed.
They have an MP. They have an MP. Look, get the MPs to work.
Prem, I tell you something, if you understand this, a member of parliament and ministers, the ministers will toe the line for the government. Members of parliament has to remain quiet. You know for a fact, and I know for a fact.
How Dinesh Ramali never remain quiet? We were on his heels. I wrote Dinesh Ramali over 150 correspondence on behalf of the people of Chaguanas West, and he responded to all. Most of the time in the affirmative, we got it done. We got the problem fixed.
Right, and this is what we are saying here. On Saturday program, we want everybody to be live on our show. We want you all to understand what we are talking about here. On Saturday show, we're going to give you all the platform. We might be taking 2 hours, 2.5 hours, no problem. But we want you all to understand this, right? That you have an opportunity, right? Looking at this individual here, that's Rosebud. Rosebud is saying this. She's saying, looking at both UNC and PNM manifesto. PNM manifesto look more sensible. Let's be ready, responsible.
Yeah, but look at the text before that, Imam. We are in innovative times and people are working. So people want to tune into the program, Imam, but you know, today's our working day. You understand?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So Trinidad and Tobago, this program, Hardfacts, is your program. It is a program that has been designed. Now, the reason why we put this program for 12:15 to 1:15, a lot of people would take their lunch break in 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, and many of you would have eaten your food by 15 minutes. So we give you 15 minutes to have your lunch, and then many of you will be, some would take a cigarette, some would lie down, some would take their phone, look at their messages and so forth.
And the guys in the bar sipping a beer.
Basically, right? So, my friends, Trinidad and Tobago, this program is really and truly your program. It is our most sensible program. If you look at our program and dissect it properly without being vindictive and looking at race and religion and looking at, you know, stats and whatever, you're going to realize that we have been broad-minded, open-minded, and we have been being most sensible in our admonitions here. We advise you all, we tell you all, we don't force you, we don't take your hands and put it behind your back and say, well, here what, we're giving you 2 hamper, we're giving you this, we're giving you that, we want you to come outside, we're going to give you, no, we're not doing that. You, Trinidad and Tobago, have to understand that we are living in a free world. What people want in this country is, they want the liberation must be really and truly liberated. Right? They want that. They don't want to have, you know, they get a certain freedom. Right? And you know that freedom is being monitored 24/7. You can't go here, you can't do this, you can't. No, Trinidad and Tobago should not be like that. And that is the reason why we, Trinidad citizens, we are paying billions of dollars for security. We are paying billions and billions of dollars for security, and we are not getting that. We are paying for services that we have not been getting, and that has been happening in the past, present, and we do hope and pray that is not going to happen in the future. So those of you who are watching our program, my friends, we ask you all kindly to join our program. Hardfacts is here. The number.
Thank you very much, Director. Welcome back, Trinidad and Tobago, to our program, Hardfacts, on Sentinel Media Live Broadcasting. You know, as was mentioned before on the screen there, today is really a special edition. We were expecting some guests here, but they, you know, because of maybe unforeseen circumstances, we do apologize on their behalf for not being here, and hope that, you know, some other day they would be here. Now, my friends, I have taken it upon myself to pen a correspondence to the present Prime Minister, who is the Honorable Stuart Young, to, you know, inviting him to our studios, and we await his response. We hope it will be in the affirmative, and, you know, that will be definitely after election, win or loss. And we are going to hear, we would like to hear from him on his views, win or loss again. And likewise to members of other political parties, we would be inviting them once more again to the studios of Central Media Live Broadcasting, and let them share their views. It is free of charge. Now, we have come, you know, to the last leg of our program, you know, the last few minutes. We did not take a break. I don't know how we skipped, we went.